Hi there. Well, it's been a while since I've been here. Trying to make this a little more. There we go. Today is May 28th, 2024. And I know I haven't been proactive with these. It's a busy life. Busy life. We got lots going on here, and lots of baseball and softball and concerts and all kinds of things going on here. But today's a kind of a unique day. I just scheduled my first ketamine therapy appointment, which is tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I'm doing it down in Grosse Pointe. Dr. Johnson from Traverse City suggested that I give this a go. He said by now the PTSD should have subsided, if it was going to subside on its own. And I've tried medication, I've tried therapy, I've tried all of it, and it's still here. It still comes up and nabs me from the back. And isn't the life I want to live. Antidepressants make me not sad, but they also prevent joy. And you're just kind of like this all the time. And I kind of like the roller coaster of life. But the roller coaster I have now is like this. And no one appreciates that. So took the step, and one of the first questions they ask you is, have you ever tried hallucinogenic drugs in your life? I was like, no. And she kind of giggled. And the gal at the office, she said, that isn't the average answer we get. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know if people like me should be on hallucinogenic drugs. I don't know. Maybe I should just give it a go on my own. But we're not doing that. We're going to go the medical route. And what they found is ketamine, which has a really bad connotation used outside of the medical industry. And that's why people are able to disassociate what happened to them while it was happening to them. And that's why it's so effective for that nefarious and sickening use. But sometimes it has a productive use, and we're going to give it a go. So I will go 6 appointments over 2 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 10 o'clock. I can't drive myself home, obviously. Ed's taking me. We aren't going to tell anybody about it till it's over, because we're going to see if they notice a difference outside of the knowledge of knowing I was taking it. The kids were able to see the difference in the Celexa, which is the antidepressant. They also know that it affected me in an adverse way, where it makes me very calm and not sparky and not excited and not all those things. And I want those things. I feel that way now because I'm off of everything. But then I go too far and I'm too emotional. So there's got to be a happy medium somewhere in there. And normally the tears come from triggers. The gal asked me on the phone, what was the onset cause of my PTSD? And so I begin to start to tell her, of course, I find the less I visit that, the better off I am. But is it like walking by the candy store and not smelling the fudge being made? To where it's just right there waiting for that smell to go, oh, I need fudge? I don't know. I do know that the antidepressants just kind of suppress all that, which means it just lives deeper down. So I don't know which way this is going to go. Don't know. I'm kind of nervous about being in a hallucinogenic state. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big drinker. Yeah, the only time I used marijuana was when I had my knee surgery. Wasn't a fan. Um, I I just don't like that being out of control feeling. But Dr. Johnson, my neuropsychologist, he said this whole ketamine thing is a game changer in the mental health field. He said they aren't just talking treatment, they're talking cure. You don't cure mental illness. He said, no, but if the PTSD, so what happens is they give you this ketamine and you get a very small dose the first time, and then it builds over the six treatments. And while they put headphones on you and soft music, and then once you're kind of under the influence of it, they counsel, like therapy, your subconscious. So what happens is the walls you put up at therapy that the therapist doesn't get through usually, because everybody's got some walls, they have parts they don't want even looked at. This prevents that from happening. And the walls are dismantled for a very short time. And then the therapist comes in and talks to your fear. And what really is where that fear lives. And they make it a safe place for your fear to live, express, and lose. That's the plan that they tell me. That's what happened. It is just myself and the therapist in there. It is not recorded. It is not, I won't know what happened. I will take measures to safeguard myself, just because no one else is in there. They do find that if a spouse or someone is in there, those shields may not go down. That's how intense our brains function, because we wouldn't want our spouse to know how bad we hurt, or our parent to know how bad we hurt. So those walls will stay up even during the medication process, which I think is fascinating. So we'll see how this goes. I wanted to do this before I started, so that when I am done, I'm going to hope to remember to do this after each session. I want to come in here and tell you what I saw, what I felt, what I learned, what I know. What they claim is you do these 6 sessions, and then after about 8 weeks, you go back for one more session. Then usually it's a yearly update. They didn't say update, that's my word, because, that's how our computers work. And hope it isn't like Cricket, because my Cricket updates about every 3 days. I'm just saying. So just a checkup to see where you are every year. They can give you a small dose and just maybe like an immunization booster. I don't know. We'll have to see. This is a whole new process. I know no one that's done this. I've done a lot of research. I've watched a lot of videos. I was just getting ready to schedule this when Matthew Perry died. And he died with ketamine in his system. And he didn't die from it, obviously. But to know that he was on ketamine therapy and died anyway was terrifying. So I decided we're going to hang on for a second, let them do their research. Then I read last week that they're looking into Matthew Perry's death not being an accident. So that kind of freed up, like, okay, so maybe this isn't such a big deal. It's a lot of information in a very short, what is this, few minutes? Whatever it's been, 10 minutes. Wow, goes so fast. So today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday, and I go at 10 o'clock. I should be home by noon. I'm going to leave myself a reminder to come on here and do another one of these videos, and I will let you know what I find. My biggest concern when I asked the gal on the phone, I said, how will you know if I am afraid inside? That's my biggest fear, is being terrified under the hallucinogenic drug. She said, well, no, your blood pressure will spike, all kinds of things. And because I can still talk to them, I just won't remember it. So they're going to know what's going on. And I'm curious. I'm apprehensive. No, anxious. Apprehensive is different. I'm anxious about it. I wish you said, hey, could you come at 2 o'clock today? I was like, now I'll go until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, which means I won't sleep tonight, which is fine. And we'll see how it goes. Okay. See you tomorrow.